up, everybody? Well, I got another FIREBAT mini PC gameplay video for you guys today. And today we're gonna try out CarX Street PC. Hello, Missy. I did not know you were under the bed. I'm just gonna assume you're always under the bed at this point. So sorry if it's stinky in here. I had no idea you were here. I figured you were still in the Batman chair again. Your little ninja. But while I'm setting up, she probably back's turned. She probably just jets under there, doesn't make a sound. And I'm sitting here making all sorts of noise. Got good hearing, but if I'm making noise and covering up that good hearing, doesn't do me any good, does it? So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and see how this runs. So far, the thing it ran best on is the Lenovo Legion S Go with SteamOS. It's not like it was completely unplayable on the Steam Decks or the Allies, but they also weren't the greatest experience either, unfortunately. What are you doing? You leave my Lenovo box alone. You're such a silly kitty. Anyway, she keeps on like, it's probably a new smell, so she's like, ooh, box? Can I do anything fun with this? It's that Lenovo, speaking of the devil, Lenovo Legion Go box. I was just talking about that thing, and now she's messing with the box to it. But anyway, we're gonna see how this thing can do now. Now, this thing does have like not the most VRAM, but it makes up for it by being able to just throw a humongous amount of watts at it, since it's just plugged in a wall. It has a little bit bigger cooling. But anyway, why don't we hop into the game and let's see what this thing can do.
So we'll just do what we did on the Allies and the Lenovo and all that and Steam Deck and just start off on, well, Steam Decks we do our own thing kinda, but on the Allies we start off on 1080p high, so that's what we'll do here, although we are using upscaling so it's not really truthfully 1080p, but the base resolution is at least. So, with that all out of the way, let's get into the game. So now for 900p medium settings, which does quite a bit better than 1080p high did, but I still don't know if it stayed over 60 or not, but you guys will see. I did too many systems to remember, and I don't want to sit here and say, oh yeah, I remember it did for sure, and then it didn't, or opposite, be like, oh yeah, it never could, and then it does, you know? I don't want to sit there and look dumb, so I'll just say I don't know and let you guys see in a minute here. So now last up, 720p, and this is your best bet for getting the best FPS. Game doesn't look the greatest on a TV like this, though, but it didn't look that bad on any of the handhelds like this. But when you got like a 50-something inch TV, it's not going to look the greatest. And I'd say that's about that. Now we game.
Alright, let's get some camera recorded gameplay now. We still do have some races to do, right? Yep, here's one. Yeah, I'd say it definitely runs a little better than the Allies and the Steam Decks, but definitely not as good as that Lenovo. That thing so far wins. At least until we get to the small form factor PC, then I'm pretty damn sure that's going to win. So kind of highlighted, but I thought it was going to be way worse than that. Nope, I can already tell what you're thinking about doing. Don't do it. Do not play with my cord. I know it's jiggling down there. It looks like a toy, but it's not. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. She's all hyper. I gave her one of those meat sticks to play with, and now she thinks everything's a toy. She probably lost it under one of those mats. Nope. You think I'm playing with you? I'm making a video. I'm not playing around with you. Silly kitty. Now see, I think that's a lot better way to handle the situation than some other people we've seen online. No throwing, no abusing, no yelling. No point to any of that as far as I'm concerned. Well, the only time I can see myself yelling at her is if it was life or death, like she's about ready to bite an electrical cord and I need to scare her away from it. It's about the only thing I can think of. But not just because, oh my god, stop messing with the cord, even though we trained you to play with ropes and stuff. So that's our own fault. You train a cat to play with ropes, she's gonna think every cord is a toy, you know? So that's our own fault. Oh, there's a new race right up ahead here. Alright. Nope. You silly kitty. She came around thinking I wasn't paying attention. And she probably wants me to come help her get her meat stick unstuck. That'd be my guess. Red Dragon Bridge! Misty, it's the bridge. Your thing's right here. It's right in front of you, silly. What a silly, silly kitty. Racing games with traffic sure are good at putting traffic right where you need to be to get the best freaking apex and all that stuff. Not that time. Of course it doesn't do it. Right when I say it just to shut me up. Fourth. I would have gotten third if I hadn't crashed into that dang car, but it is what it is. I keep seeing this electrical blueprint nearby. But I still don't know what I'm technically looking for. Well, regardless though, I think that's probably good. So why don't we go ahead and go wrap this video on up. Well, alright guys, that's a wrap for CarX Street PC. And definitely did a little bit better in the Steam Deck over the Allies, but not quite as good as the Lenovo Legion Go S. But definitely playable. Does not look exceptionally great, you know, all blown up on this big old TV, but hey, it is what it is. So now we can go move on to the next system, which will be the small form factor PC, and that should have no problem with this, I would think. But hey, maybe it'll owe me in the face and it'll actually be harder to run than I think. But so far from what I've seen, it looks like I want to test it on everything. I figured this would be another game game that looks like it'd be, oh, hundreds of FPS on even the Steam Deck. But nope, I was wrong yet again. But that's why I'm glad I test these things. But anyway, that's all for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, because I sure as hell enjoy making it for you guys. And until the next video, peace out, guys.